everybody. Welcome to the Gaby U Show. I am your host, Gaby U. And today on this episode, I have an amazing guest, Shelley Bosworth. And before we go into our discussion today, I would like to tell you some things about her. Shelley is a qualified personal performance eLife coach, specializing in mindset and confidence for female entrepreneurs who are ready to get out of their way and uplevel their life or their business. Following a successful 25-year corporate career, Shelley turned 40 and faced a health scare and significant personal loss and decided to change her path. She is now on a mission to empower and inspire ambitious women who are exhausted by life that they can be, do, and or have exactly what they secretly dream of, guilt-free and confidently, but knowing that they will need to take action. She is practical, straight-talking, and a little woo curious. She is your best friend in your back pocket. And that is Shelley Bosworth for you. Shelley, welcome to the Gaby U Show.
Thank you so much, Gaby. It's absolutely brilliant to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, so glad to have you here. And Shelley, you are in United Kingdom, right?
I am indeed, yeah. So I'm just outside of London in the United Kingdom. It is middle of the day where you are. It's heading into the evening where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 6 hours apart here.
That is the beauty of technology that enables us to do this, right?
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yes. So, Shelley, I have two icebreaker questions, which that's what I call it. Anybody can call it what they want, but that's what I call it, that I like to start out with any of my guests. And so my first question for you is, I want to know, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Gosh, this is a tough one, okay, because I love food. I mean, like, not just love food. And my husband and my husband's a bit of a foodie. He loves food too. And, we all like choose our holiday destinations based on what food we might get to experience. So we really do like a bit of everything. But if I'm also really honest, I have some kind of, let's say, guilty pleasures when it comes to just really naughty, normal food. But this might surprise, because I know most people will be expecting the woman to now say chocolate, and it's not chocolate. Actually, I'm not even a big fan of chocolate. So As much as I love I like trying new foods, I like trying foods from all different cultures. I also really quite like a good sausage roll. I don't know. Honestly, It's got to be a good one. It's got to be a good one, preferably homemade. I don't like chocolate, but I'm a nightmare for a bag of crisps. Honestly, that is my secret food that I need to not eat as much of.
Yes.
And meal wise, if I'm feeling like I want to be really safe and comforted, it's got to be a really good burger, like a proper homemade burger as well, which goes against the I love food and I love food. But it doesn't, because I do love to experience all new, but there's so much to try, and I think that's what I love about experiencing food. But at the heart of it, I'm just your average girl who quite likes a sausage roll or a beef burger.
Okay, so they kind of have something similar to the sausage and beef burger, the beef in it.
I like to keep it simple. But I like to try lots and lots of things. And I guess that's the point, really, of enjoying all types of food. It makes that very hard to choose something when you enjoy trying.
Yes.
All the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's good. I love sausage rolls, and I know in Europe maybe make it a little different from ours here. So I think,
possibly,
yeah. I think somebody had brought something like that one time.
Okay.
So I think yes. Okay.
That wasn't the answer you were expecting, were you?
I get people with different kind of likes for food, and I mean, I've had different. Oh my guests, they have some certain. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think about that, but I'm a foodie person too, so I love to cook and all that. That's why I have it in my questions, because I want to try
That's a good question.
What other people are doing. So maybe I can try it too. Okay. I'm very adventurous with food, so yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My husband's very adventurous with food. I like to try all the foods, so I'm not necessarily as handy in the kitchen. That's not my area of strength. I like to eat it. So
okay. Well, I am in all the way. Yeah, I love kitchen. Kitchen is my happy place. Like I got my therapy there.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing I want to ask you, Shelley, what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. This is a really easy one for me to answer, and it's been with me pretty much since the day I qualified as a coach, actually. And it really resonates because, as you've already mentioned, I specialize in mindset and confidence. So my favorite quote is as simple as, she believed she could, so she did.
Oh,
I have it.
Oh my goodness.
I have So that really resonates for me.
Oh my goodness. I love that, because I actually have a journal book. I don't know if I was just looking around because I have it here in my office, and that is what is on it.
When I left my corporate role, my team, they bought me some beautiful notebooks, and they had quotes written on the front of them. And one of the books had "She believed she could, so she did" written on it. And actually, I gift clients, when I work with clients, I gift them a notebook, because lots of my clients, I encourage them to write things down. And in the front of the notebook that everybody receives when they work with me, the quote is "She believed she could, so she did." And I just, it says everything I want it to say, and it stands for, it says everything I stand for. So yeah, absolutely. Yes. That's an easy icebreaker for me.
Yes, that's a good one, because also talking about mindset, and I am somebody too that I talk a lot about that mindset. I mean, if I work with my clients too, and a lot of my videos, you see, I talk about that because it's so powerful. Just changing your mindset, knowing that you have that power in there. You don't have to go be seeking it somewhere else. It's right there.
All in here, and you've got to believe it's in there, and you've got to believe that you can do those things you want to do, and then you'll take the actions.
Yeah, because you see sometimes when some things you have been trying to do and you're putting it at the back burner, and then you see somebody else doing something like that, and you're like, it seems like I'm more qualified than that person. And the person is doing it, and but then what makes you different with that person? The mindset. Because they believe
I was talking to a client this afternoon, actually, two things. We were having actually this very similar conversation, and I said, everyone out there that's doing all those things that you think you want to do, they're just normal people. They just have a belief and they took some action. And you have that, you have it in you, we just got to find it. So that's the first thing. The other piece is, and people often say, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, actually, I think that statement is flawed. I think that actually you see it when you believe it. Yes. And that we need to kind of start, I'm on a mission to help people see that actually when you start to believe, that's when you start to see all the things. They're all out, it's all out there.
Yes.
It's just that at the moment we're so quick to tell ourselves we can't, I'll never be able to, and that person over there is doing it and I'm not like them. Actually, when you believe, you will see. Not when you see. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. I've just got
but that's the thing too, is also not being in that mind of saying, if you're saying you want to see it before you believe it, it's like trying to perfection. I gotta be confident before I can do it. I have to be strong or be something before I do it. But knowing that sometimes is the other way around. You have to start doing it to build the confidence.
Yeah.
The confidence,
what you can do.
The confidence don't come like that. It comes from doing, and of course, many times before you get confidence, and then you can now say, okay, I'm experiencing this. I have gone through this. I saw this didn't work. I switched it to this way. And so, that
absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. So the next thing I want us to go through to talk about, I want you to share with me what you feel that has shaped you to be this woman you are today. I want you to share, your victories, your struggles. Is it from health, career, relationship, childhood, anything? Just like go all the way and just share it with us.
Okay. So thank you. And let me kind of my story is kind of the woman that I am. So let me kind of share that story. And don't worry, I'm not going to give you literally, we're not going to be here for hours as I give you my entire life story. It's not like that. But very simply, as I've already alluded to, and it's in my bio, ex-corporate. So I'm the eldest of 4 girls, pretty standard upbringing, encouraged to work hard at school, do well in the exams, go out and get a good job, do the safe thing, because that's the world we lived in. And that was certainly, my parents worked hard to give us the best they could. And that's what I did. So I worked hard at school. I did okay. I went off out, and I was quite driven as a youngster. So I was off out to get a career. And I definitely had some goals in life. I wanted to experience life. I wanted to travel. I wanted to have nice things. And that became my path. I didn't grow up in a world where we knew people that ran their own businesses. Very much the world I grew up in was people went out and got 9 to 5 jobs. She says, inverted commas. I'm not sure I had a 9 to 5 job, but that's a different part of the story. But here in the UK, I worked for a number of quite big UK retailers, and I started to climb that ladder. And I was doing well. I was enjoying it, and I was achieving the things I thought I wanted to achieve. Fast forward several years, actually, and I was becoming labelled actually as quite a career woman. I hadn't met someone, I hadn't settled down, there was no children on the horizon, and I was good with that. I met my husband in my late 30s, and as I say, fast forward, I'll give you the crux of where the changes started. So I met my husband, we got married, and I turned 40. And then I had a health scare, and it was quite a relatively serious health scare. The C word was in that health scare. I'm pleased to say it was a scare. It was not anything to be worried about. It did result in an operation. It was probably the very first trigger in terms of realizing that perhaps I wasn't as invincible as I thought I was. And I was working a lot of hours, and I was giving it my all, and I was still climbing that ladder. But I wasn't quite as invincible as I thought. So there was a bit of recovery time involved. So that was the first trigger. The second and third triggers, slightly more sad, I guess. My father-in-law was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. He was 62 years of age. It was shortly after my husband and my wedding, and he deteriorated quite quickly. So watching what that did to the family, watching a still young and had been very healthy man kind of lose himself was a real trigger for me, and actually how hard he'd worked, and actually all the life that he still had to live. Sadly, my father-in-law passed away back in 2018. So I've turned 40, I've had a health scare of my own, and we've now had this happen in our family. So I was asking questions, if you like, of myself. So not of anything else around me, but of myself. Was what I was doing enough? And I wasn't unhappy at work, and that's a really important part of the story. I had a great job, I loved my team, and what I loved about all the work I did was people. So I led big teams in my roles. I worked across retail, across hospitality, I worked for some big businesses, and I had really big teams. I know the UK is small in comparison to where you are, Gabby, but my last role, was UK wide, so quite a big role. What I was great at was people and teams, and so I started to question whether I wanted to be on that corporate ladder, still climbing until I hit my 60s, until I retired. There had to be more. And we were doing all the nice things to the outside world, nice car, nice house, nice holidays. But we were working hard for those 5 weeks off a year, and those questions were getting louder for me. My father-in-law passed away, and I decided to go for it. So I went and sought out, I'd worked with a coach in the past, and actually I'd remembered how much impact that had on me. It helped me kind of uncover some limiting beliefs that I didn't even realize I had, and that helped me in my career. So I announced, it feels a bit like I just got up one day and announced it. It was a little bit more than that, but I kind of announced I wanted to train as a life coach. And I didn't quite know where that was going to go. So I didn't at that point have any great aspirations of running my own business. I just wanted to do something a bit more. And I think I thought I'd use that within the workplace, and maybe I'd dabble on the side. Anyway, started training. As I said, my father-in-law passed away. 9 months after my father-in-law passed away, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and 3 months later she passed away. And we lost both of them in less than 12 months. And I know they weren't my parents. I mean, they were like my parents. They were wonderful in-laws. And that is my husband's story to tell. But it had a big impact on me too. And that final part of that story was really where the trigger was. Actually, there is more to life. And I'd been speaking with my mother-in-law towards the end about, I think I want to do more than I'm just doing. I want to do something with this life coaching. So sadly, I didn't get to do it before she left us, but I think she'd be pretty proud of where it got to, because very shortly after she passed away, I qualified as a life coach. I set up my business almost immediately, and I set myself a goal to build a little business in the background ready to leave my corporate role. That was in the summer of 2019. In December of 2019, I walked out of my corporate office for the last time and entered into this new world. Now, of course, I stepped out of that office with 2020, new year, new decade, I'm here. This is amazing. I'm going to rock the world. I didn't rock the world, but we all know that something else did rock the world in 2020 and through a few curveballs perhaps I wasn't quite expecting. But each of those curveballs, I've turned to my advantage. I've used the opportunity to really learn and grow my foundations. I definitely wobbled, as I'm sure you can appreciate. But actually, I think that's made me even stronger as an entrepreneur. I've really been able to hone the skill. It's enabled me to work with probably a different audience of people than I thought I would, because the impact the world had on so many small business owners meant that actually the work that I was doing and the skill I had in helping people with limiting beliefs, those feelings of imposter syndromes, comparison, all those things were being fueled by the fact that we'd just gone online. So I will not thank coronavirus, because of course it's been a very difficult year for way too many people, us included, because that had an impact on us personally. But out of that, actually, it turned me again, if you like, it turned the path again a bit more for me in terms of really realizing that my path was in this mindset and confidence. It was my superpower, if you liked, and I leapt into it very quickly. And here I am 18 months later. People often say to me, do you wish you'd realized earlier? Because I had a 25-year corporate career. I don't. There's two things I say. First of all, I wouldn't be the coach I am if I didn't have that 25-year corporate career behind me. And there's so much in there that I am so grateful for. And it absolutely made me who I am. I'm glad I didn't know in December 2019 what was coming around the corner, because I wouldn't have left. Of course I wouldn't. I would have taken the safe route. I would have stayed in a paid role, and who knows what would have happened, but I didn't. And we never know what's coming. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If I had known that was coming, I would have made a very different decision. And for that, I'll be forever grateful that I had the strength to go for it, and the support of my husband. I'm very fortunate there. And it's been rocky. Whose first year in business isn't rocky? I've learned huge amounts. There's things I do differently, but I'm learning that as I go, and it's been incredible. And all of it, again, has got me to the woman that I am now. Because even 2 years ago, when I first qualified, I wasn't quite the coach I am now. There was obviously bits of the corporate career, but 2 years later, I'm even stronger for it. So does that answer your question? That's the whistle-stop tour of kind of how I've got to where I am now, and the twists and the turns that have built me into the coach that I now am for the women that I work with.
Wow, that is amazing. And I know a lot of listeners can relate to this. I personally can actually relate to this too, because that's something, when you make this decision, people think you are like nuts. Like, why are you doing this?
You're doing what?
Yes, this is safe. You have those benefits. You have insurance. Health insurance, all these. Now you want to just go and so I can so much relate to your story in many levels. And and that question, people ask you that, would you have wished you had known to be this coach you are today? It's just that we don't want to, we have to, use those our life experiences and know that God is preparing you for where He wants you to finally be. Those things were needed, because if not, you will not be who you are. Because now if you walk, you're working with people that have gone through what you've gone through. So you can relate to them. There is a reason why all this went, because sometimes some people, will go through a lot of, you went through, some painful losses. And, and some of those things is just how to use them to make you a better person,
Absolutely.
Yes.
There are a lot of coaches in the world. And if I think about just my arena, and wonderful coaches, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of coaches coaching on a lot of different areas, and we've all got our story, and that's what helps us be the coach we are in our arena. And yeah, I think too often we're almost afraid to share our story, but actually it is what makes us who we are. It's when people say, what's your unique selling point? Your story is your unique selling point, because it's yours, it's no one else's. Yeah.
It is powerful. And this is something that I have, firsthand. Like I can give an example of when I was working in the clinic. I was working with this group of population, and the husband and wife came with their kids, as a family nurse practitioner. And the husband, he's much 14 years older than his wife, but he looks much younger, and she was about the same age with me. She has 4 kids too. And I could see she had a lot of health issues. She was overweight, had all this stuff. And I was talking to her. And when I was talking to her, I could see that look on her face, like, who is this girl talking to me? Like, she's just this all skinny, healthy health practitioner, and she's just telling me all this. I could see that in her face, the way she was looking at me when I was telling her some of the things she needs to do to make her health better. But what changed her mind? When I told her, I said, do you know I have 4 kids? And she looked at me like, you have 4 kids? I said, yes, and I'm the same age with you. That was the thing she sparked up when I told her, and I showed her my picture, because I had struggled with weight too. And I showed her my before and after picture. And I said, look at how I used to be. And this is me now. And she was like, wow, And then she started listening, because she knows now that I'm not talking. Yes, I am not telling her all this from textbook. This is real life. And I told her, I said, I know how it feels. And some things you have to do it for yourself, for your children, for your family. If you want to give, if you want to be the best woman you can, you have to take care of yourself first. Because there are a lot of people depending on you. You yourself is depending on yourself, and people are depending on you. And that was the thing that changed her, because when I was talking, she was just rolling her eyes like, who is this lady talking to me? Does she have any clue? But my story, So, and this is why one of the things I have to show that, we see people where they are at, and you're like, oh, it must be good for them. Oh, wow, look at what they're doing. But you want to know, where did they come? How did they get where they are? They didn't just, they struggled. They fought, they fell, they stood up, and they keep going.
We like real stories. We like to, no one really wants the perfection. Don't get me wrong, we like to look at it and we tell ourselves everything's perfect.
Social media.
Well, and social media is a blessing and a curse. I love social media, but
yes,
I also know how it can feed the wrong feelings sometimes. And actually we like, not because we want to hear people's dramas, but we like real. We like to know that even if you're looking perfect right now, you have tough stuff too, or just that, just real and raw. We want to know the human behind the stories. We all
yes, that's it. Like, know where these people started from, and also give hope that if you are somebody struggling, like, okay, I don't have a purpose. I don't seem to be getting anything right. When am I going to have that breakthrough? Know that there is hope as long as you're breathing.
100%. Actually, I hope that all I ever am in the right way. So it's back to the quote. She believed she could, so she did. I'm just a normal girl.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing special about me, and I don't mean that as a self-deprecating way. I'm just a normal girl.
Yes.
But I decided to believe that I could do something differently, and that is what I'm doing. And I'm learning every day, but I constantly learn to believe that I can, so I will. And I hope that not all I do, but I hope that what I do is inspire anyone out there. Well, if she can, why can't I? In whatever it is they want to do. That's what I want the message to be. And that's why I tell my story. And that's why I am as real as I can possibly be. I mean, like any one of my clients will say she's human first, coach second, because I'm absolutely about, I don't sit on the other side of the screen coaching clients and pretending that I don't experience limiting beliefs, or I have all of those things too. I just learned stuff that helps me manage them. And what I do is I share that with my clients to the best of my ability. I'm real, I'm human, and I have tough days too.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's just like, it happens to me too. I mean, I've had some people when, I was telling them, one of my friends, I was talking something that I was going through some things and I'm not feeling very motivated, and I'm working on some things. And she was like, Gabby, you're always smiling. You always look joyful. I say, yes, I do. But I have my moments. And, but I have the tools that I will get back to myself again, and that is the thing too. It's not that we're going to be all rainbows and flowers all the time. But the key there is that you know how to switch the channel, not stay on that sad victim channel all the time.
Awareness is awareness. Awareness is the first step of change. So having awareness of these things, recognizing when the triggers might come up, when the feelings come in, and then knowing what to do, and actually being able to manage, I guess, is probably the best word for it. Because I'm really clear with everyone, you can't fix this stuff, you don't get to eradicate it. Confidence is a great one. I always say no one is 100% confident 100% of the time, because if they are, they're never doing anything new. We all have a moment of this is new, or what if, and then we push through it. And that's right. It's important to remember. So
having the tools and knowing how to switch.
Absolutely.
When somebody said, I was like, I would say generally I'm a happy person, but I got my moments.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So this is a good way to segue into the next thing I'd like to know from you. So what would you say are you most proud as a woman today?
I guess from a really personal perspective, and it's a bit of a cliched answer, but I guess for me personally, I'm most proud of doing this. I was 42 years of age when I changed my entire path and started a business from scratch just before a global pandemic hit. So I'm proud of me for that. I'm also proud of every single woman that puts their hand up, presses that button and says, hey, I want to make a change, and allows me to be part of that journey with them. And I'm proud to be part of that journey. So that's what I'm most proud of. I'm proud of all the women out there that are deciding they want to make change and doing something about it, however big or small that change is. That's completely up to them, but doing something about it. And I'm grateful and proud every day that I get to be part of that journey with so many wonderful women.
Yes, she believed she could, and she did.
So she did. See, it's the best quote, isn't it? It really is.
Yes. So what would be some of you've kind of talked a lot of things to encourage us, but I want us to just tie this in a bow. What is your summary of your encouraging words you want to give our listeners today?
So when I'm thinking about kind of encouraging words, so my encouraging words to everyone is be courageous. So actually, I'll touch on that confidence piece as an example. Lots of people label themselves as confident or not confident. People will come and say, I'm lacking in confidence. I need more confidence. And I get that. And confidence has got so much weight attached to it. So my piece is be courageous. Have the courage to try something new. Have the courage to admit that you want to make change. Have the courage to fail occasionally. So be courageous would be my encouraging words to anyone. And actually, courage is how you get to increased confidence. But courage is, in my view, more important than anything else, because courage to just put your hand up, push that button, do that thing, allow yourself to try, allow yourself to believe. That's how you start to move forward. So be courageous.
Just get it started.
Just have the courage to take that first step.
Yes. And
have the courage to push through the fear. Have the courage to, I could go on all day, clearly, be courageous.
And that is the thing I was, talking about, and I probably had some of my videos too, and I was talking with some of my guests of, when sometimes people are not feeling they should start something because they are scared of mistakes. But hey, if you don't want to make a mistake, how do you do it? You just sit down and don't do nothing.
Exactly. Fail forward. But we've been conditioned from very early age to learn that failing is wrong. Failing means we didn't do well enough, rather than actually failing is your first attempt in learning. It's the first try, and that's how you learn to get better and better and better, exactly as you said. But we have been we live in a world of win or lose, pass or fail, right, wrong. There's a lot of grey, excuse me, and actually we've got to be courageous to fail, but we've got to encourage others to be okay with that too, to embrace failing and learn to see it as an opportunity to learn, not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's easy to say. I still have days too where I'm like, I don't really want to fail. I don't really want to failing. Let's just be really clear.
I actually have a thing that I have put together. Actually, there's it's on my website. Also, there's a book. I'm gonna be an author with a lot of other women.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Coming in November, and that is one thing I talked about. Failure. Actually, got the quote from life and just put it together. So it said, failure is not a trait or a temporary event.
Oh yes. There you go.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one of them. And then the other one I'm talking about, saying that, people have been conditioned that, this thing of fail, pass, and that's one, I think it was a quote I saw. It says, I never fail. I either learn or I win.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've seen that one. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely love that one.
Yeah. I either learn or I win. I mean, it's just that thing of we just have to get started, and just don't wait to be how perfect and all that, just get going,
Absolutely. Yeah. Embrace the not going quite right as an opportunity to learn more and keep moving forward.
Yes. So Shelley, how can people connect with you? Do you have any projects you're working on? Just share like social media handles. Where can they find you? All that.
Great. So I'm nice and easy to find in that it's the same everywhere. So Shelley Bosworth Coaching, if you search for that. I'm on Instagram most days, giving a metaphorical kick up the backside if you need it, or a really encouraging, she believes she could, so she did, that kind of thing. So Shelley Bosworth Coaching on Instagram and on Facebook. I have a free Facebook group. I will speak slowly because I tend to speak fast and that can confuse people. My Facebook group is called The Successful Ladies Escape Lounge. It's what it says on the tin. It's for not just women in business, actually, but it's for women like all of us who have dreams, have goals, but are probably telling themselves that, they can't for whatever reasons, and they're seeking a like-minded community and they're working on their mindset. I'm obviously a coach, so in terms of working with me, if that were of interest to anybody, there's one-to-one coaching. I also run a mastermind. It's called the Successful Ladies Mindset Mastermind, and essentially that is my 7 essential steps to getting real clarity on your motivation, mastering your mindset, and getting into momentum to achieve your goals and your dreams, because that's how we get to our successful life. So if any of those things are of interest, come and find me on the socials, and we can definitely have a chat.
Yes.
Shelley Bosworth Coaching, you can find me.
Okay, great. So I'm going to have this for those of you, if you're watching it on YouTube, it's going to be on the description area. And if it's any of the audio podcasts, it will be on the show notes. So you guys can check it out and see how you can connect with her. And I'm sure we can get a lot of help from there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, mine. So thank you, Shelley, for coming today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for having me. It's been really good fun to talk to you.
Yes. So I'm going to end today's episode with my favorite quote from Maya Angelou that says, when you know better, you do better. All right, people. See ya. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.